Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha Kodash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles, a great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching His word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning, and unto the Bayath Adowadah, the elect house of David, that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. All right, so we're going to go into a little bit of the history of excuse me, as you can see on screen here, Cesare Borgia. Okay, and of course he is known as the, as you all know, he is the illegitimate son of the 6th Pope of Rome, and he was the face model for the so-called Messiah when they painted over the faces of the original kings, priests, and judges thereof. So we're going to go a little bit into his history here, and then go into the where it says comparative mythology for Jesus, and then what it says right here, Cesare Borgia, Machiavelli's model for his Renaissance prince and alleged inspiration for Leonardo's Face of Christ. Okay, Lord willing, let this be edifying unto the body and to the sincere believers and listeners. So, as it says right here, Cesare Borgia, born September 13th of 1475 to March 12th of 1507, was an Italian cardinal and condottiero, which is a mercenary leader. He was an illegitimate son of the Pope Alexander VI and member of the Spanish Aragonese House of Borgia. His fight for power was a major inspiration for The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli. Okay, let's see here. Okay, going down. It says, after initially entering the church and becoming a cardinal on his father's election to the papacy, he resigned after the death of his brother in 1498. He served as a condottiero for King Louis XII of France around 1500 and occupied Milan and Naples during the Italian Wars. At the same time, he carved out a state for himself in central Italy, but he was unable to retain power for long after his father's death. So, let's see here. So the Italian Wars were a series of conflicts between 1494 and 1559, mostly in the Italian peninsula, but later expanding into Flanders, the Rhineland, and Mediterranean Sea. The primary belligerents were the valueless kings of France on one side and their opponents of the Holy Roman Empire in Spain on the other. Okay, and it says here, at different points, various Italian states participated in the war, some on both sides, with limited involvement from England, Switzerland, and the Ottoman Empire, which is the Turkish Empire. Okay, but going back, so let's see. According to Machiavelli, this was not due to lack of foresight, but his error in creating a new pope. Let's see. So Cesare Borgia's life. The date of his birth was of a subject dispute. He was born in Subiaco in Lazio, Italy, in either 1475 or 1476, the illegitimate son of Cardinal Roderick Lansol I de Borgia, usually known as Rodrigo Borgia. Later Pope Alexander VI and his Italian mistress Venanza de Catane. Okay, let's see. The Borgia family originally came from the Kingdom of Valencia, which is located on the eastern shore of the Iberian Peninsula. Okay. And rose to prominence during the mid-15th century. So these were times around the Renaissance period, which means rebirth. Okay? And it says here, Cesare's great uncle Alfonso Borgia, the bishop of Valencia, was elected Pope Callistus III in 1455. Cesare's father, Pope Alexander VI, was the first pope who recognized his children born out of wedlock. Excuse me. And as you can see here, this is the coat of arms of Cesare Borgia as Duke of Valentino and Duke of Romagna, Captain General of the Church. So he was initially groomed for a career in the church, following school in Perugia and Pisa. Cesare studied law at the Studium Urbis, nowadays the Sapienza University of Rome. He was made Bishop of Pamplona at the age of 15 and Archbishop of Valencia at 17. 1493, he had also been appointed Bishop of both Castries and Elne. Okay. He also received 1494 also received the title of abbot in the Abbey of Saint Michael, whatever how you pronounce that thing, but so he was groomed for the church at an early age. And of course, in 1498, when he was 1498, so let's see. So he was around the age of 23 and he pursued a military career. So let's see. All right, bear with me for a second. I mean, if you can read more of this to yourself, but I'm gonna read right here. So, Cesare's career was founded upon his father's ability to distribute patronage, along with his alliance with France, reinforced by his marriage with Charlotte d'Aubray, who was a French noblewoman, sister of John III of Navarre, in the course of the Italian Wars. Louis XII invaded Italy in 1409 after Giacomo Trivulzio had ousted its Duke Ludovico Sforza. Cesare accompanied the king in his entrance into Milan. Let's see. At this point, So I'm just gonna get straight to the point, but later years and death, let's see. So I'm not gonna really get too much into this because we all know just a little bit of the history about this man, but go deeper into it. He had many lovers, including the Borgia family was known for their incest, and Cesare had gay lovers. This man was a military tyrant, but moving on from there, let me get you here. This is the Cesare Borgia, Machiavelli's model for his Renaissance prince and legend inspiration for Leonardo's Face of Christ. Okay, let's see. So, the man who fundamentally inspired Machiavelli, among others, for the model of a ruler that he described in his work, The Prince, although he also mentioned Ferdinand of Aragon, but he was more distant, was undoubtedly one of the great figures of the Renaissance. Although along with many others, along with other members of his family, he became the subject of 1,001 legends. Some with more basis than others. Great artists such as Leonardo, Michelangelo, Penderecchio, Titian, and El Bosco, among others, had him or other members of the Borgia family as their patrons. In fact, Cesare Borgia's relationship with art has a truly curious chapter. Some authors believe that he was not only the model for the prince, but also that his facial features were used by many contemporary artists for the face of Christ. Until then, Christian iconography had represented Jesus in various ways, from the initial beardless Moschophoros, which persisted into the Middle Ages, to the bearded and long-haired Jesus that became popular later due to inspiration from the Syrian-Palestinian region, transitioning from a majestic attitude to a more human one that was introduced into the Renaissance. So, this is the book of Job. Chapter 9, verse 24. And it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Okay. So, not only during the Renaissance did these people, cover over completely whitewash the images, but they also whitewashed the image of the Messiah, Yahweh Shai, who is originally a so-called black man. And I'm going to get that here in a second. You're not sure, as a matter of fact. I'm going to get it right now. Revelation chapter 1. Revelation chapter 1. Let's see. Revelation chapter 1, verse 13. And it says, in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about with paps, girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, and as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. Okay? So, that right there is describing what the Messiah looks like. Okay? Woolly hair. Okay? Hair that is thick, coarse. Okay? And skin like unto burnt brass, so dark brown complexion. Okay? And we already know that these pale skins, their hair is not thick and coarse like ours. Theirs is just thin and wavy, and let's see here. So let's see here. Okay, here we go. This was Cesare Borgia with Machiavelli. And it says that legend has it that the two of them became lovers. But there are so many stories surrounding the Borgias that this is just one more. What interests us here is that this love affair would have led Leonardo to paint a Christ with the face of Borgia, the famous Salvator Mundi. And Borgia's father, Pope Alexander VI, would have been responsible for its dissemination. The same legend says that Michelangelo, jealous of Leonardo, adopted the same aesthetic canon for clearly white Christ, far removed from the Semitic appearance of earlier times, laying the foundation for a new iconography. So, and it says right here, all of this story is apocryphal and unlikely, of course, and if it had any semblance of reality, it would surely be reduced to the intention of giving Jesus a less Hebrew appearance, perhaps because of the Borgia and Spaniards in general were derogatorily considered to be Jewish. To add more confusion to the matter, the authorship of the Salvator Mundi has been in doubt in recent times. So there you go, right there. Some see a resemblance in feature and facial structure between the face of best-known portrait of Cesare Borgia by Altobello, Malone, and Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi. So, you can't really make this stuff up, man. Okay, this was the man whose face was replaced, who replaced the true image. Okay? And that's why it says here in the book of Job, chapter 13, verse 4, it says, "But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value." So, this is you can't, like I said before, you cannot make this up. All right. Even though these devils, they'll try to do whatever it takes to cover it up. With lie after lie after lie. But the proof is in the pudding. Okay, this is something you cannot. Like I said, I'm just trying to skim over a few things, make some key points here. But now it says here, Jesus in comparative mythology. Okay, now it says here, The study of Jesus in comparative mythology is the examination of the narratives of the life of Jesus in Christian gospels, traditions, and theology as they relate to Christianity and other religions. Okay, so although the vast majority of the New Testament scholars and historians of the ancient Near East agree that Jesus existed as a historical figure. Okay, let me see here. Trying to get to the point. Okay, it says here in some traditions, it says Jesus has been compared to a broad variety of figures from various mythological traditions within the Mediterranean basin, including in rows from left to right: Dionysus, Mithras, Sol Invictus, Osiris, Asclepius, Attis, and Adonis. Okay, so all right, so let's see here. Later Christian, I'm gonna read right here. Later Christian traditions about Jesus were probably influenced by Greco-Roman religion. And religion in ancient Rome consisted of varying imperial and provincial religious practices, which were followed by both people of Rome as well as those. In fact, let me go here real quick. So as it says that which were followed both by the people of Rome as well as those who were brought under its rule, including the Greeks. Okay. The Romans thought of themselves as highly religious and attributed to their success as a world power to the collective piety in maintaining good relations with the gods. So they're polytheistic, which means they believe in multiple gods. And we are, as Hebrew Israelites, we are monotheistic. Or well, monotheistic, meaning you believe in only one God. Okay, in Greeks, so okay, the presence of Greeks on the Italian peninsula from the beginning of the historical period influenced Roman culture, including some religious practices that became fundamental. Okay. There we go. Okay. As the Roman Empire expanded, migrants to the capital brought their local cults. And what is a cult? A cult is the care owed to deities in temples, shrines, or churches. A cult is embodied in ritual and ceremony. Its presence or form of presence is made concrete in temples, shrines, and churches and culture. Cult is embodied in ritual and ceremony. Its presence or form of presence is made concrete in temples, shrines, and churches and cult images, including votive offerings and votive sites. All right. We'll go back here. So many of which became popular among Italians. Christianity was eventually most successful with these beliefs. And in 380 became the official state religion. For ordinary Romans, religion was part of daily life. Each home had a household shrine at which prayers and libations to the family domestic deities were offered. Okay. So, all right. Much of Jesus' traditional iconography is apparently derived from Mediterranean deities such as Hermes, which is a Greek god, Asclepius, and here's one you may be familiar with, Serapis, which is a Greco-Egyptian god, a synchronic deity derived from the worship of the Egyptian Osiris and Apis. Serapis was extensively popularized in the 3rd century BC on the orders of Greek pharaoh Ptolemy I Soter, as a means to unify Greek and Egyptian subjects. So Ptolemy was one of I believe Ptolemy was one of Alexander's four generals, the Diadochi, I think, if I remember correctly. And you have Zeus, and then you have, of course, it says here his traditional birth date on the 25th of December, which is the winter solstice, which we know is a lie. And it says here, at around the same time Christianity was expanding in the 2nd and 3rd centuries, the Mithric cult was also flourishing. So this is where you get Mithras was a Roman mystery religion centered on the god Mithras, although inspired by Iranian worship of the Zoroastrian divinity. So in other words, Iran, which is modern day Persia, okay, because Zoroastrian, that's part of the Iranian religion. So yeah, so this was, the Roman Mithras was linked to a new and distinctive imagery, and the level of continuity between Persian and Greco-Roman practice remains debatable. But the mysteries were popular among the Imperial Roman army from the 1st to the 4th century. So, okay, so again, these people are forgers of lies and positions of no value because they bring about nothing but confusion. Nothing but confusion. And it says here, Jesus' birth and resurrection, and stories of other divine and heroic figures across the Mediterranean world, including supposed dying and rising gods, like Tammuz, you have Adonis, Attis, and Osiris. So, you have all of this here that pretty much tells you where these people get these ideas from. Okay? So, this is going to be, let me get a real quick slot here. It's going to be, there we go. Revelation chapter 20. Revelation chapter 20, verse 1, it says, "And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key to the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years." So, when Jake, going back to the Dark Ages, which was the time when Jake was ruling all of Europe, these pale skins were pushed into the Caucasus Mountains for 1,000 years, where they've been plotting, scheming for the time to come when they would rise back into power. And that bottomless pit is Europe. Okay, and Verse 3, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nation no more, till 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season, and that little season is now. We're in that little season right now, and that little season is soon to pass, because Esau, Edom, he's falling fast. And it's going to say Satan falls as fast as lightning, right? Which means that his kingdom, this society that he built, is falling, is crumbling fast. And he's panicking. He's in a rush to get what he's got to do, to get what he's got to get done, to try to solidify his rulership, but the Lord is not going to allow that to happen. Okay? Excuse me. This is Ephesians chapter 6. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, it says, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11. It says, put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. So the whole armor of the Most High is this truth. Okay, this truth is what gives us all that we need to stand against the wiles, which are the devices, the craftiness, the plots, the schemes, again, of the devil. Verse 12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Okay? So the people that are in high places right now, that are running things, they are the ones who fabricated all these lies. Okay? They fabricated all these lies, put them in place, you know. And of course, he went about deceiving the nations. Okay? And this is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Okay? And people say that this here is the mark, is the, as I say, the MOTB, which it isn't. The MOTB is the RFID grain of rice. 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Okay? So, we're not, this man, he cannot fool us with his lies anymore. Okay? We already know. We already know who you are. We already know where you come from. Okay? We already know. Okay? You're a liar. You're the devil. You are the wicked that the Bible speaks of. So, sorry if I was a little bit over the place. I was just kind of skimming through some parts just to drive the point home. But yes, they can hide. They can try as they want, try as they might to hide all of this. Try to hide the lies and all that. But at the end of the day, this is. You could go into history yourself and read thoroughly, and you'll find out that that this man, I shouldn't just say this man, but these people. Okay, as a matter of fact, let me get the book of Maccabees, First Maccabees chapter. First Maccabees chapter 1. Now, when you're dealing with the first, when you're dealing with chapter 1 of the first Maccabees, of course it goes into, Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Kittim, has smitten Darius, who was the king of the Persians and Medes. And so this is the time when Greece took over. So, they made many wars, and I'm going to get to the point where it says here in verse 7, so Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. And it says, let me read here. Actually, I'm going to go to verse 5. First Maccabees 1 and 5, it says, and after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves, so did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. Okay, so, all these many evils will multiply in the earth. Edom has left his mark. Okay, he has stained the land. These are the children of fools. They're more vile than the earth. Okay, these are the people whom the Lord has in indignation forever. Okay. These are the people that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai hates. So, with that, like I said, this wasn't meant to be a long lesson. Just wanted to skim over and get to some key points, but there's no denying it anymore. There really isn't. And if you're still denying it and saying it's a conspiracy theory, you're at this point you're just like I said, in denial, and you're a fool. And with that, I hope it was edifying to the body and to the sincere believers and listeners. And with that, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostle of the great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching his word with 100% truth and sincerity. To the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. To the Bayat Avodah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad. I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. See you in the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharallah, Wa Abad Babal. Shalom, Barakatam.